And we are live with our first discussion panel, the Netherlands and its provinces. Promising, huh? Well, this is a classic, and we always want to keep it in all the editions of Here to Work. And 2020 was a complete success, and now it's not only happening for us here at our virtual stage with all the attendees, but we're also making that session live for everybody to know what the Netherlands is about, how to land, how to re-understand how the provinces are. For me as a Colombian, being from such a big country and coming from such a small country that is so organized like the Netherlands, I have to say that, there's clarity on what the Netherlands has to offer. And for that, we also have like really special guest speakers coming from the different regions. I'm going to be introducing one by one. Then we're going to share some slides about their provinces, and then we have a Q&A moment. So for everybody who's watching this now, make sure that you make your questions. This event is live for a reason. You have the chat next to this video, so just post your questions, and we're going to grab them all for the Q&A moment. That's it. So where to start? Let's start with our house. Right now, I'm sitting in Amsterdam. So I want to introduce you to Kseniia Maliuta first. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
So, yes, well, I see your background. Really great. A little introduction about yourself and what you do so we can quickly introduce each of you, please.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Kseniia. I work in Amsterdam, so helping international business and talent in the Amsterdam area. And I'm international myself, so I had to discover a lot of things on my own. But luckily, there are a lot of things and information out there, and great organizations that help internationals. So that's why I'm here to share a little bit about that.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. And well, I'm really excited that we're doing this in Amsterdam as well. I'm really excited that we're so close by and that we can also provide information in a later session about what is it to work and to live in the Amsterdam area, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's go with the next speaker. Well, I was thinking about going from north to south in the Netherlands, but no, ladies first. Now we go with Alina. Alina, coming from the south, North Brabant, she is. Yes.
Hello, Maria. Thank you for having me. Yes, my name is Alina Totti, and I work for the province of North Brabant. I am in the international affairs team, and I support my colleagues dealing with labor market policies. I do the policies and projects that are about attracting and retaining the international talent that we so badly need in the province for the many jobs that we have available. And like Kseniia, I'm also an international myself, and I look forward to telling you also about what it's like to be an international working in a very Dutch environment, the government, basically.
Wow.
Thank you.
Like, for me, when we met, and like to see internationals working with government is the best from everything, because we are the community. So when we manage to actually meet people who understand policies, what's happening, what is really going on at public state, we really have a lot of insights, and we can already think forward in the bigger picture. So I'm really happy to have you here and that we met. And I'm sure that this is going to be amazing. Yeah. Okay, so last but not least, we have two girls international, and then we have Gerko. Yay!
Hello,
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Representing the Hague area and surroundings, right?
Yeah, we cover the entire province of South Holland. So
Wow. Well, South Holland is a really nice province. I love it, and so close. Everything is so close. Anyway, so quick introduction about yourself and what you're doing, and then we're ready to start.
yeah, hi everyone. My name is Gerko Visee. I'm the only Dutch person apparently in this webinar. And I work for the Hague International Centre, part of the city of The Hague, the close colleagues basically of Kseniia. Basically what she's doing in Amsterdam, I'm doing in The Hague. So love to speak to everyone about the opportunities we have in the region as well.
Perfect. Well, three amazing regions, huh? And a lot of internationals already there. So, well, we're going to be like showing you around like a little virtual tour about the provinces, and then we're open for questions, right? So let's get started now. Let's share the presentation here, and let's go. So here we are. We start with, I'll add you to the stream. Kseniia? Yes?
It's good if Gerko starts the presentation.
Great. I'll add you. Oh.
Yeah, and
There you
can
go.
we go to the next slide?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So basically, we'll start with a little presentation. Basically, why the Netherlands is very attractive, and then we go like a tour show to the country, from Amsterdam to Brabant to The Hague and South Holland. But we'll start a little bit about basically why the Netherlands is very attractive. As you can see already in the map, on the slides. Oh, and something is happening here. The Netherlands just ranks like number 6 in the world as the most attractive country for international talent, only outranked by, for example, other European countries like Denmark and Sweden. If you look at the Netherlands, a lot of cities actually score very high. So think, for example, about Amsterdam, Eindhoven, The Hague. They're all in an international ranking, and we score very highly about compared to other international cities. The presentation is lost on me. Can you upload the presentation again, Maria?
Yes. Momento. There you go.
Thank you very much. So as you can see in the picture, and this is quite unique at the moment, is if you're looking for a job, there's a lot of opportunities available in the Netherlands. Basically, one of the statistics we can show is that for every 100 people in the country, there's actually 143 jobs. This is an absolute record, and the economy is doing so well that there's so many jobs available. So for every single level you might have, like practically educated, highly skilled, university, college level, there's a lot of jobs available. And today we'll guide you a little bit to the opportunities you have. So if you go to the next slide. Some of the things why we usually promote the Netherlands internationally. We're beyond one of the most attractive countries for talent. We're also one of the happiest countries in the world. If you look, for example, at human development, the country ranks very highly because of the education level, the healthcare provisions, for example. We're the tallest people in the world. One of the most innovative countries as well. For example, if you look at horticulture, but also in tech, in high tech, for example, we'll talk about it in Eindhoven. The Netherlands is really a place where a lot of the innovations are being done for the rest of the world. An advantage for a lot of people from abroad is that the Netherlands also has a lot of almost everyone speaks English, but a lot of people even know different languages as well. Might be French, might be German, might be Spanish. So there's a lot of opportunities for which you don't actually require Dutch, which means that there's also a very open labor market for people to join. If we go to the next slide, you can see we have certain what we call top sectors. These are the key industries in the Netherlands, and you're going to find out about them throughout the country. And it's also the sectors where, of course, most people work in, but also where in the end most internationals find a job in. So if you go, for example, we have things about agriculture and food. The Netherlands is one of the biggest exporters of food, but also it has a port of Rotterdam and Schiphol, so it's a very connected country. So, for example, there's a lot of logistics company based in the Netherlands because it's a gateway to Europe. There's a lot of energy companies close to the port of Rotterdam, but also in the North Sea, for example, and doing a lot of innovative work with a lot of expats. A lot of universities are leading in research on life sciences and health. So, for example, if you look at Leiden with the biotech industry, like, for example, the Janssen vaccine was developed there. A lot of people actually doing lab research are coming from abroad. Close to the region I'm from, in the South Holland area, is where a lot of the horticulture sector is based, where we develop, for example, the new kind of tomatoes or paprikas. It's very highly skilled work. It's not just people picking in the field anymore. If you move to Amsterdam, there's a lot of creative industry, media companies, a lot of television production as well, which is something where the Netherlands stands out as well. Water, of course, the Netherlands is a country, if you look at climate change, if we don't have dikes, the entire country will be flooded very soon. So we do a lot of innovative work in the water industry. For example, keeping the water out, but also having such a big maritime commercial fleet. A lot of things have to do with logistics as well. Alina will tell you everything about the high-tech sector, for example, which is based mainly even in Eindhoven, with a lot of chip manufacturing, but also car manufacturing and stuff like that. So if you're an engineer, there's a lot of opportunities available. If we go to the next slide, a lot of you might also be non-EU, and that's where immigration is, of course, is very important. Often you will have to look for a job where the employer will sponsor your permit to come to the Netherlands, but there's also some other opportunities. For example, if you graduated from a Dutch university, but also if you graduated from a top 200 universities, based on certain of the Times Education ranking or the Shanghai ranking, there's an opportunity to look for a job for 1 year with the orientation year permit. If you actually think, hey, I have a great idea, I want to develop my innovative startup in the Netherlands, we have a very attractive startup visa, which allows you for 1 year to build your startup connected to a facilitator, which is an established accelerator or incubator program. Also, if you already established your business abroad and you would want to expand it, we have a self-employer person permit, which basically looks at your business and grants you access to the country to develop your startup even further. If you're mainly looking for employed work, most of the people come into to the highly skilled migrant scheme. This is basically when a company sponsors you, they're a recognized sponsor from the IND, the Immigration Authority, and there's some salary criteria involved. For a lot of startups, we now have a new permit, which is called the Key Startup Employee Permit, which basically has a lower salary level, and you can get ownership of the company as well. You get stock options. Immigration can usually be quite difficult. That's why Maria, for example, at the Here to Work thing, have also the IND is going to be there. RVO is also going to present more about immigration because it can be quite tricky in situations. So I fully recommend that you also sign up for one of the other webinars which might guide you to immigration. This is just a little bit of information about how it works. The IND itself has a lot of information about how the permits work. If you go to the next slide, how it also works in the Netherlands is that's not you're going to get a lot of free government help if you're looking for a job. So, for example, beyond national government agencies like the Immigration Authority, what we have is 12 international centers. So every single city with a big university has an international center, and the international center, or sometimes called expat center or welcome center, are basically there to support international newcomers with their move, settling in the region, but also when you're living there. But also, of course, it's a key point where you can just ask questions about the jobs available in the region. A lot of them are connected to have a job boards where they post all the English vacancies which are available. And also we're all working together in what we call the Welcome to NL platform. That's the website where basically you're going to find out about all these key industries we just listed. And for example, what the Netherlands is doing on this topic, but also some companies where you can find out more about whether the jobs are something for you. Connected to the Welcome to NL website is also a startup job portal. So if you want to work for an innovative company, you can just Google startup jobs the Netherlands, and you can find out a job portal which basically indicates you thousands of vacancies which are there in the Netherlands. If you're not really interested yet, for example, in one specific region, you can just use the national portals to orientate yourself. If you're actually considering to move and you want to find out more about what you have to take care of in terms of immigration, relocation, and stuff like that, one of the things we can advise you is to just look at the website of your regional international center of the region you want to work for. Or you can download also the Welcome to NL relocation app. It's been just launched, and basically you can just indicate the region you're going to live in, and it will inform you about everything you need to take care of. That's just some of the things we can mention, in terms of guidance, which is available, because we are looking for so many people and we have so many vacancies. There's a lot of support available for people that want to move to the Netherlands. Basically, for the rest of the presentation, what we do is give a very brief overview of some of the three main innovative regions in the Netherlands: Amsterdam, Eindhoven, and the South Holland area. And first up, Kseniia will tell you a little bit more about the Amsterdam region.
Thank you. Really, really nice to have this first big picture what the Netherlands has to offer and then go more in depth about the provinces. Thank you for that, Gerko. And everybody, please start writing your questions because we want to know what do you want to know about the different provinces. But this is a great overview. I told you, small country, super organized. Not every country can say, here is everything mapped out like this. Thank you. Happy to live here. Okay, let's go with Kseniia now. Thank you, Gerko. There you go.
Yes, and we can move on to the next slide. So everyone knows that I'm working for in Amsterdam. So then on the next slide, I will briefly explain why in Amsterdam area is a region for international talent. So this is a bit of a general overview of in Amsterdam area, and we talk not only about Amsterdam, but the whole area, which is more than 30 municipalities and transport region. This area focuses specifically on sectors such as AI and already sectors that Gerko mentioned previously, life sciences and health, creative, sustainable mobility, circular food, energy transition, clean tech, fintech and finance, aerospace and logistics. These are the sectors where there are most vacancies are available for internationals and also for the local talent, but also the areas which a city and region are interested in developing in and solving further challenges. So you'll see many more projects around these industries. What's also interesting maybe for the broader picture is to know that in the Amsterdam area, there are more than 3,000, almost 4,000 foreign companies settled. And jobs in such companies account for 250,000 of direct jobs and around the same number of indirect jobs. And then we have more around 3,600 startups and scale-ups based in the Amsterdam area. And if you see in percentages, jobs in what kind of percentage of jobs created by foreign companies is around 32% of all jobs. And if we look at tech companies that are mostly innovative scale-ups and tech in startups is around 14%. So if you're looking for jobs, you might as well be interested in these type of companies and jobs created by these type of organizations and companies. And then also about numbers of internationals in the Amsterdam area, we have almost 200,000 international workers, and 93,000 of those are highly skilled migrants, and the rest are international workers defined by type of visas they have. Top companies employ from 35 to 80 different nationalities, and overall Amsterdam area is home to more than 160 nationalities. It's all just numbers, but what they all try to say is that the area is extremely diverse and welcoming for international talent. And you can also see some of the jobs on the iamsterdam.com job search and look into different sectors which are interesting specifically for you. So after talking about general numbers, I would like also to mention what In Amsterdam does, and I listed some services of In Amsterdam on the next slide. Are we going to? Yes. We at the In Amsterdam International Newcomers Center, we help international companies and talent by helping from starting official procedures of the municipality and immigration service to application for the 30% ruling or exchanging of a driving license. But also we have a international desk to answer all questions around settling in the area. Some things come up immediately after the relocation or after changing your job or a job permit. some things come up a bit later, and we are happy to answer all those questions. But also we provide a lot of general information on the website about living, studying, and working. So check the platform out, and also see what kind of events we organize regularly. They cover more practical topics like taxes or healthcare in the Amsterdam area, but also other things, since apart from providing services, we also look into ways to make sure that the area is a welcoming environment for international, and if there are kids that need to be accommodated in international schools, or partners that are searching for a job, or there is a need for integration, we are also happy to provide that help. This is a bit of an introduction to the Amsterdam area. We will explore more and provide more information during the next session about Amsterdam specifically. And I think it's a good time to jump onto the next region.
Thank you. And I'm really happy because I live in Amsterdam. Really, it's really amazing. And I know a lot of people come here, but normally you don't know how is the life here, more like the touristic part, but you don't know all the possibilities that we have, also including colleagues that are doing exactly the same in other places sometimes. And that's what we were discussing before, that people think that there's a lot of distance with the government. And, you know, when you know that there's people like Kseniia, Alina, and Gerko that it can easily show you around and help you to find your way, that's what we want to do, you know. We want to bring that accessibility to the table, and not only in this session, but further. We want to promote every region and also see how the expat centers and how every international center is going to help you out further, right? So that's it for Amsterdam, but I have to study. I have to say that I study, sorry, in the south. So I know what is coming up next. 11 years ago, I was really happy to come in the middle of the snow. Well, that was not really happy, but the part that was happy is that I was a student in Tilburg. And that's exactly the area where we're going to talk about, in the North Brabant area, close to Belgium. Really nice accent. If you want to learn Dutch, I think that's easier. So now, Kseniia, thank you. I see you around in the next session, and I'm going to introduce Alina from the south. Yes, there you go.
Thank you, Maria. Yes, I guess you will not hear my accent now. I don't think I'm still learning Dutch. I work actually in Dutch, but my accent, I think, is a mixture of many things. So yes, hello from Eindhoven, from North Brabant, which I think is a super interesting area for internationals. We are getting more and more internationals, and I'm very happy to share with you what the province of North Brabant is doing to attract and to retain this very valuable international talent for our economy, and also to share a little bit of my experience as an international here. The first slide I had was with the name of Brabant, and I actually found a very nice picture from the Glow Festival, which is taking place at this very moment. We have a very integral view to talent attraction and retention, and this includes having a very big diversity of activities that will make these internationals happy. Can we put the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, next one. Next one. No, this is the Hague.
Yes, I don't have more in this presentation. No, I don't have you on the presentation. Wait a second, because that's what I got from Kseniia. Momento. Yes, please. Let's do that. So Gerko's going to be sharing his screen, because I don't have you in that presentation. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yes. So
we're learning to use all these technologies, and these are actually super important also in the attraction services for international talent, because more and more internationals are requesting that they work online, and this type of communication is important for companies to keep these employees happy.
Important. So Gerko, you can share your screen by presenting. Yeah, there you go. Here we have them. Perfect.
Super. So I was saying that I chose the first slide to show an image of the Glow Festival, which is taking place at the moment in Eindhoven. This is a very nice experience. And onto the next slide, I wanted to start with an example of what makes Brabant actually so exciting. You might remember from summer, I think it was, that the US House Representative, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had a visit in Taiwan in what looked to be something like a very, very tense escalation between the US and China. Well, that was very much about chips. And the chips industry is something very important for Brabant, because while many of us may be thinking that it's companies like Apple and Intel and Samsung that make the phones and the laptops and every other appliance that we use. It is a Dutch company called ASML that is making those very complex and very expensive machines that are used to print these chips. So this just shows you that if you work here in the Brainport area, for example, of North Brabant, you get a chance to work at the intersection of very interesting technologies and shifting geopolitics. I just wanted to check with you that you see me well, because at least in the image that I see, the light is flickering.
I see you perfect.
Okay. This is
screens, you're perfect. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So that's about chips. But about Brabant, I would say that so with billion-dollar corporations like Philips and ASML and countless innovative startups, the economy in Brabant has grown faster than other regions in the Netherlands for the past 5 years, for example. And I was mentioning Brainport Eindhoven. This is a world-class high-tech region. So if you work in Brainport Eindhoven, it means you are contributing, let's say, to a better world. This is what we like to say. The companies located here are cooperating closely to find all sorts of innovative solutions in respect to mobility, health, food, energy. Then you have the agri-food sector, which is the second largest economic sector here in terms of number of people employed. In West Brabant, there's a strong agri-food sector. There's also a very strong chemical sector with companies such as SABIC. I would add that Brabant is home to more than 80,000 family businesses. The best known are supermarket chain, for example, Jumbo, vehicle manufacturer VDL, caterer Hutten, the brewer Bavaria, and so forth. So this incredible economic success, we can argue that it wouldn't have been possible without the work of the many internationals that came from everywhere for a job in the area. And if we move on to the next slide, I wanted to show you, this is the very first sentence from the policy document that is the bedrock of my work. So we have an economic policy agenda, and this also has a section on labor market, and this one also has a section on international talent. And we refer to international talent as absolutely indispensable for our economy. So this is the philosophy that we operate with. It is no longer a choice, but a necessity to work with internationals, and they're very welcome. And this idea to welcome people are put into practice via our expat center. So just like the one in The Hague or in Amsterdam, we also have an expat center here in Eindhoven, and this one caters for all internationals registered anywhere in Brabant. They could be working in Tilburg or Breda or Den Bosch or Bergen op Zoom, but they need to come here and register. And I wanted to move on to the next slide so I can show you what we do via the expat center. I would say formalities is the most important thing that we do, because the the increasingly many internationals arriving here need a lot of support with registration and all sorts of administrative issues, just like my colleagues were mentioning before for Amsterdam and the Hague. Actually, today we had the meeting with which is the steering group meeting for the expat center, and we are observing a substantial increase in the number of internationals, and we're thinking how to best accommodate this so that everyone receives help. On the other hand, we are now reaching out increasingly more to companies to play their part in supporting internationals to integrate, because we believe it is also up to companies who use this talent to chip in. And what keeps me very busy at the moment is one particular project, which is called Women for Women. It is under the Living In section in this slide, so the last one. We observed that many internationals, I would say half of them that arrive in the area, tend to come with a partner. So usually a wife in this case, because we import many engineers, but it's not just women, of course, coming, but they come with a partner and sometimes also with children. And we consider this additional international arriving to the province as talent. And as you might be aware, we are dealing now in the whole of Netherlands with massive shortages of skilled labor in pretty much any sector. Therefore, we think it's our role as a province to find creative ways to identify talent and connect this talent to companies. So internationals coming in the area will not just receive support with, let's say, administrative issues, but their family as a whole will receive help. We will help the spouse to integrate socially and also to find a job by connecting them to the companies in the area. Next slide. So these are a number of things that we do via the expat center. And then onto the next slide, I put a very nice picture of the Women for Women project, because this is where we take roughly 30 international women that have come here accompanying their husbands or boyfriends, and we pair them with mostly Dutch women who have a very solid career in the area. And throughout these 3 months, we help them to integrate. I'm there also in the picture with my first mentee, a very smart woman from Brazil. I've just finished mentoring another very smart woman from India. So there are many ways to find talent, and we have many ways to help this talent be very happy, because we think that a happy expat will stay longer and this will benefit our economy. This is all I wanted to say for now, and I look forward in the questions to explaining in more detail things that are related to, let's say, the governmental approach and how an international can integrate and understand the Dutch labor market and what it's like actually to work with Dutch people, especially if you come from the south. I would add to that.
Thank you, Alina. Amazing how organized everything is. Like,
Yes.
you have a clear navigation around the provinces, and people to contact like you and Kseniia and Gerko, and so many things are going on. So, well, we had some questions from the audience. I will bring everybody back at stage. Yes, so we can talk about it together. Yes, here we are. So, can you please unmute yourselves? Sorry. Yes. So we have some questions, but let's start with the bigger questions. Yeah. One is like, okay, we have a lot of people joining that are not yet in the Netherlands or waiting to come back after the pandemic, right? So, what would you say that every international should know, especially every international professional should know before deciding to relocate to the Netherlands? Yeah.
Can I say? Can I say? So I would say that now I am a successfully integrated international on the Dutch labor market. But when I came, I landed very flat on my belly because I misinterpreted some information. And I'm speaking now to people that don't necessarily have a tech background. So the Netherlands is looking for particular skills, but in my case, I was coming from public sector, and I was looking for public sector or for communication. And these are areas where the knowledge of English will not suffice. So, for example, if I were now an international considering the Netherlands, I would look very carefully into what are the possibilities for my specific sector. Not just the Netherlands is looking for talent, but are they looking for my type of talent? Will I be able to adjust? I also tell every international that I speak to really learn the language. Because it really helps you to open doors, and it helps you to understand the culture in which you operate. And I would even say it's polite, if not pragmatic.
Do we have a I lost connection.
I
Yes.
think we lost Maria.
Again, here I am.
Yeah.
Or so. Yeah. There's Alejandro. Yes. So I was just mentioning that it's important to know, depending on where you go, what you need to prepare beforehand. And one of the
I think maybe it's good that Gerko can explain what's exactly to know about the Hague and the South region, and specifically like what people need to know when coming.
Yeah, perhaps because Maria and Alejandro are both left, right? Yeah. We talked about relocation. So basically, perhaps a really great answer about this as well is where we're all working for specific regions. So once you find out where your dream job is, if you want to move to the north of the country, the south, the west, or the east, and know that there's dedicated help available. So, for example, I work for the Hague International Centre, like Kseniia is doing for Amsterdam, for example, and we help on a daily basis, like hundreds of people trying to relocate to the region. We do it specifically for the Hague, for example, with a specific mindset. Usually we say, like, if you want to work for a better world, you have to come to the Hague. A lot of the jobs, for example, in our region are connected to basically working for SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, or to make societal impact. For example, a lot of work is done on the energy transition in Rotterdam because they have such a big port. They also have a lot of energy companies, but also logistics, for example. That's where to become carbon neutral, there's a lot of innovation going on. And that's why we need a lot of engineers, for example. In The Hague specifically, we call ourselves like City of Peace and Justice, which is because we are the second UN city after New York, and we have a lot of EU agencies. So, for example, you might be from a NATO EU country, or you're working in international law. There's like thousands, tens of thousands of internationals working here. Connected to peace and justice is also what we call an impact sector, which is a lot of companies which are still making a profit, but they come specifically to South Holland because they're actually working on creating an impact in society, not just to make a lot of money. So, for example, a lot of companies working on energy transition, food security, trying to be humanitarian companies. They're all based in this region. So basically, how it works in our region is we have a job portal with more than 4,000 vacancies, which are all English language vacancies, where you can just find out more about the region. Maria will share some information in the chat, just where you can find out more information about this region. So I really hope this helps for some people to find the jobs which they're looking for. We have some more questions, but I think Maria, you're back.
Yes, yes, I'm back, and we have 4 minutes, and we have a lot of questions. Okay, so let's do some pragmatic questions. Some people asking if the 30% tax rule applies to somebody who moved from Belgium but lives less than 150 kilometers from the Netherlands border.
No.
No.
Okay. No. Okay. Second question: is there any program for husbands whose partners have moved to the Netherlands with their children?
I think I'm going to mention briefly about in Amsterdam, and then for other regions, probably it's the same, but let me know. We don't differentiate about wives or husbands. I think any talent that is moving to the Amsterdam area is important, and we are trying to support regarding if it's a husband, wife, or a partner not married coming with international talent to the Netherlands, and provide them with information about living, with international education, but also with access to the job market. It's easier when you move for a specific job, but sometimes you need a little bit extra help when you are still in the search once you moved.
Great, thank you. Anybody else wants to say something about that? No.
At least in Brabant, we are now focused on the women. We made this choice for now, but we're also looking into how to support the male partners coming along. It's just that at least in the area where we are focused now, the Brainport area, we have a high number of male internationals arriving, and this is where the choice comes from. But it's also changing. So we also see more and more women joining these sectors and, for example, engineering. So we expect a change in our approach as well.
Thank you. And we have another one about where to look for jobs, for companies and jobs, specifically looking to hire talent under the essential startup personnel or high skilled immigrants, or if there's a list or HR recruitment consultants who specialize on helping you to find your way on potential vacancies? Where can we send people looking for, well, no, there are many different job boards, but if we can mention some places to check for companies and jobs looking for high skilled migrants.
For the essential startup personnel, the best thing is to look at the startup job portal, which was shared in the comment section before as well, because it will inform you where most of the start and scale ups are. And these are most likely to use the essential startup personnel. For highly skilled migrants, just look at one of the job portals, like national one or the region, which is closest to the industry you're working in, because they will have a list of like a lot of English vacancies. And almost every company which is going to be having an English vacancy will be a sponsor and will be able to hire you as a highly skilled migrant. Also, if you look at the regional websites, you're going to find out that we all work together with partners or service providers. And in every region, you can find out some of these HR recruitment companies. Like, for example, Untouchables is nationwide. They have a lot of information available about the jobs they have. But in every region, you have specific ones for their industries.
Okay, thank you. And we have, a question that we have a lot that is also applicable for many of your provinces is about IT talent. So we have somebody here who's a programmer and he's thinking about what is the best choice, where to look. But well, you're lucky because you're in IT. So yeah, where is the area or the province to focus on when when you come with an IT background? Everywhere?
Everywhere. Like, everyone wants you when you have a degree in IT.
And we have the last one. It's a bit problematic. That is about the housing problem. For example, like how is this working and childcare? If we can say something about it, because there are of course long waiting lists everywhere, and housing is an issue. So, are there any future plans or further plans on how to tackle these challenges?
There are multiple ways to solve this problem, but all of them are quite difficult. In the Amsterdam area, it's probably the most challenging situation. What we advise for internationals is to look for the whole of the country in general, because traveling times are much shorter than in other countries, especially outside Europe. So if you look in the traveling time, Specifically with public transport, you may find something outside the city, which is still well-connected area, which is still the area that still has all the facilities and perhaps more availability in terms of childcare or international education or school. So just thinking in where to live is a difficult question, but just try to be creative and find a location where there is more availability. Unfortunately, in the short term, this is the best advice I can give for now.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's coming up. It's cooking. The solutions are cooking.
Well, I can tell you that everywhere around me in Eindhoven, they're building. It's just building everywhere. So, but this will take time, like Kseniia said.
Yes. Well, we have to wrap it up. We have many questions coming up, but there's one question about somebody who is in the US thinking if she can start applying or looking for jobs remotely. Yes, right? You can start applying, and then you can even get the company to sponsor your visa to come as a high-skilled migrant. So you don't need to be in the Netherlands to apply for a job in the Netherlands. That I know the answer. And the last one, maybe for you, Alina, if there are any similar programs as the Women for Women in Nijmegen or Arnhem region.
I wouldn't know beyond Brabant really. I see Gerko nodding his head. I'm dealing with the ones around Brainport and potentially Breda. But Gerko, would you like to add to that if you know?
What's in it? Nijmegen and Arnhem specifically, they're launching an international center called Welcome Center Liveport. And they will also look into supporting more internationals. You might also check out the Wageningen. So it's a Food Valley, International Welcome Center Food Valley, which is based in Wageningen. And they also have a dual career spouse program, a little bit smaller than the one in Eindhoven, but they are also supporting spouses there.
Okay, perfect. We're going to be sharing some links with you guys, and we have been sharing the whole time. Thank you for being so active in questions. This is why we're live, right? And thank you all, Alina, Kseniia, Gerko, for all this information. We're going to be sharing everything. This video also has been recorded, so it's going to be here for the long run. All the attendees, you know that you have 6 months access to all this content, so replay it and get everything done. We have lifelong. I think that all this content that we share today is going to stay the same, more or less, the regions and what is happening in the future. And now you know the people behind all the expat centers and all the international centers. Thank you all for your participation. Yes. And then we see each other around the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
Okay. See
Thank
you around.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.